Hello and welcome. I am Coach Castle, a certified biomechanics expert, nutritionalist, and efficiency coach. Subscribe to this channel to learn the most efficient ways to maximize your muscle growth and recovery, enhance your body, and advance your mind, all using the latest science. Welcome to Castle's Corner.
I wanted to ask you, when did you get the idea to actually write a book, like to actually put this into a book?
Well, the first thing that I'd have to say is I have two huge advantages, or maybe three huge advantages working for me. One is that I feel everything I do on my body. If I do something, I know I feel it here and not there. A lot of people aren't connected to their body. So they do something and you say, where do you feel it? They go, I don't know. So number one, I've always been very kinesthetic. I can tell where I'm feeling it. I can tell if it's the outer part of my foot or the inner part of my foot. I can feel even, and every time I work out, I'm always analyzing. If I do this, I feel a little bit more here. If I do that, I feel a little bit more. So I'm very sensitive that way, number one. Number two is I'm very mechanically oriented. So as a kid, I was the one taking apart doorknobs and building the doghouse, but not just building like a doghouse, pieces of 2x4, pieces of plywood. I literally took, joints and drills. They didn't use a single nail in this thing. I architectured. I was 13 years old. So I've been mechanically inclined. And then the third advantage I have is that I'm able to explain something in a simple way. So that's one of the reasons why people like my book so much, is because I'll say something like, can you see the Leaning Tower of Pisa over there? It's falling north, right? If you had to save it and you were strong and if you had a rope, you'd stand on the south side of it. It's falling north. This is a profound lesson, right? The resistance always falls opposite the lean. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to do any good standing on the east side or west side.
I have to say that one of the things I really loved about your book is all of the images that you put in there, because without the images, it simply wouldn't have been as comprehensible. The images,
it seems abstract.
Yeah, it's very easy to comprehend with the images. Actually, as I was reading the book, I was actually making devices and stuff to help me understand it. But it's funny, I'm very the same way when I was a kid, very much the same way.
Yeah, so that's how it started. And I started working out because I was very skinny. I'm very ectomorphic. And right away, I started doing what everybody tells me to do: parallel bar dips, upright rows. And right away, I'm thinking I'm doing upright rows and my wrists are turning sideways. And I'm thinking, this feels really bad on my wrists. This can't possibly be good for the wrists, and I can't really tell where it's supposed to end. I know where a curl ends. I know where a tricep extension ends. Every exercise, every muscle should have its obvious end, obvious point of contraction, obviously point of beginning, right? So I was analyzing things from the beginning. And keep in mind, this was 1975, right? So we had no internet. We had no Google, right? If you wanted to write an article for a magazine, not that I thought I was worthy of writing an article or anything, but if you wanted to, most of the time they would say, well, you don't tell us what you're going to write about. We tell you what we're going to write about, because we have, readers, and we have, a strategy for how to attract readers and how to keep readers. And so we don't want you refuting something that, we've been promoting or others have promoted. And we don't want you refuting something that an advertiser is advertising in our magazine. And so that wouldn't work. And so at the time I just thought, look, this is all interesting stuff for me. It helps me train better, train smarter, train more productively, train more safely for the competitions that I want to do. It wasn't like I was saying, I want everybody else to have the same advantage I have. I thought, no, I want to have, the advantage. I'm going to keep these things to myself. And frankly, I didn't even think that what I knew was all that valuable. I most of the time, some of the conclusions that I would come to, I thought were kind of like elementary, that everyone knows that. No, it turns out that a lot of people don't know that. So as I moved through my career, and as I was approaching the end of my competitive career, I'd find myself telling people in the gym why I was using this exercise and not that one. And so they would say, you know, this is really profound stuff. You should write a book. And, you know, books are a dime a dozen. They really are. There's a lot of books out there. And if someone says they're going to write a fitness book, you almost want to roll your eyes.
That's true.
Right. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter without even saying, well, what's going to be different about it? Another fitness book?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the idea of writing another, my brother told me a long time ago, why don't you write a book? And I thought, everybody writes a book. I'm not going to be one of the millions who write a book.